Welcome to You Inside You, the podcast where you discover how to know, recognize, and trust the voice of your true self. I'm Trine Schmidt, and today's episode is very special to me because I have the honor of sitting down with my father-in-law, Dr. Ravi, a man whose life is a beautiful reflection of service, compassion, and purpose. Dr. Ravi practiced neurosurgery for over 30 years in Michigan, dedicating his career to healing others and uplifting his community. Even after retiring, he continues to teach, mentor, and serve through a charitable hospital in India, providing medical care to those who cannot afford it. His message, inspired by his spiritual guru, is simple and profound. Help ever, hurt never. What inspires me the most about Dr. Ravi is not only his incredible career, but the way he's carried his values into every chapter of his life, from forming seniors clubs and community programs in Florida to continuing his teachings and service online. And we're going to be talking about all of that because this conversation is more about medicine. It's not about medicine. It's about energy and purpose and what it truly means to trust the process and live a meaningful life. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Ravi to the You Inside You. Welcome, welcome. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Trina.
Good. So I had to give you a proper introduction because what you have accomplished in life is just incredible. And we're not going to be talking so much about your incredible medical career, which is just, it blows my mind sometimes, the stories that you personally have shared with me. But you have dedicated over 3 decades of your life to neurosurgery, an incredible, demanding field. What has kept you grounded and connected in your deeper purpose through all of that?
One thing I should say, Trina, when you were giving the introduction, you brought tears to my eyes. And I really mean it. You spoke about my passion. And ever since I've been in neurosurgery, I'm getting emotional, pardon me. Ever since I've been in neurosurgery, my entire passion has been not stay on this side of the chair, but to be on the other side of the chair and see how the patient presents, how the family presents. And mind you, Trina, in my career, I've seen the worst of the worst conditions, life-threatening brain tumors. How on earth can I tell the patient that he's not going to live more than 3 months? And that has been my greatest challenge. But my passion has been to make sure that when they go through this, there is support for them. I talk to them not as a neurosurgeon. I like to talk to them as a friend and a support. I'm already crying. I'm sorry on the screen. I'm sorry.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful. And this is Dr. Ravi at his best, and this is where we often connect very deeply. And I'm just so honored to have you here today because we do bring each other into tears because of the deep passion and connection that we have with other human beings. And when you are fully in alignment with this deep purpose and this deep, profound truth and love for humanity. That is what comes forward first. Even as a surgeon, where you have a very completely different role, and many people may have had experiences with doctors or surgeons where they can be more removed or maybe even perceived more cold in that sense. How were you able to step into more of your human self? Where did that start, or where did you learn how to do that?
As a surgeon, we have to be removed from that.
Yeah.
There are times that you get so emotional and so involved that it's difficult to get removed. But if we don't get removed, we cannot treat, we cannot serve, we cannot be objective. And that is all has always been the tug of war between any surgeon or physician who identifies himself or herself with the patient. And I believe that unless you identify with the patient, you cannot help them, because more important than treatment is the support.
Yeah.
More important is to carry them through that. I believe that is a very important task that we have been given by the good Lord, by Hippocrates' oath, which we take when we qualify.
Yeah.
That is what we are there. Physicians are healers, and our job is to heal not only the brain tumor or disease, but to heal them fully. And that has always been my passion. I mean, when I'm doing the surgery, I'm getting paid for it. I agree. But the point is that when you offer a service, you're not looking at how much you are going to get paid or whether you are going to get paid. Your main thing is that required by the patient? Is that necessary? And I've had patients all over where they've been advised surgery, they've come to me, and I said, why can't we wait? And we have waited, and things have settled. And I'm so happy I was able to do that. When I started my practice, the hospital administration, after I think maybe 3 months ago, I can't remember the exact time, he said, well, Dr. Goel, since you have come, and you're not doing any surgery. So we, and obviously the hospital wants funds. So I said, yeah, you're right. But for the patients that I have seen, I'm treating them conservatively. If they need it, I would offer. So he said, okay, all right. I remember that full well.
So you really had this unique ability already early on to really meet patients where they were and knowing exactly kind of what they needed, and never overdoing it, overextending it based on your own ego or the hospital's pressure for you to perform surgery. It was really just looking at the patient in front of you and seeing what they needed. I love that. So what's important for people to know, I really want to know a little more about you outside of your work, your previous work as neurosurgeon. Who are you as a person? Just give me a little of Dr. Ravi.
Well, Trina, it is my passion. Whenever I find anyone in need, I jump into it. I'm on the golf course and somebody says, well, Ravi, I had this and this. I say, wait a minute, send me a report. And he will send me the report. I'm living in a gated community. We play golf and we're there. And there was a friend of mine. So I said, "Hey, why are you limping?" He said, "Oh, no, I've got some trouble here. There's this." I said, "What have you done?" So he said, "Well, I've had MRI. Send me your MRI." So he said, and he said, "Well, I don't understand." I said, "Oh, never mind. I'll knock on your door." So next morning, I am at his door. I said, "Open up your computer." So I showed him the MRI, and I get, it is like a high. I get high when I'm doing this.
Mm.
I just love it. It's my passion. I said, it's my passion. I just want to do what I can. Life is short.
Yeah.
If we can do that,
Yeah. So you're really a helper.
yes,
Profound service
I
of
love
God that you
it.
mention.
Yes,
You spend your life, serving others through medicine and your community. So
yes.
what inspired this devotion to service, and what does service
Mm,
to humans is service to God mean to you
yeah,
personally?
yes. Well, I do not know when this creeped in. Well, when we are young, Trina, we are so involved in our work. First of all, medicine, then master's degree, then fellowship, and all those degrees you have to keep on doing, bringing up a family, taking care of the family, taking care of money to come in to run the household. So all that takes precedence. I don't think in that time when you are inundated with the responsibilities, you have the time, maybe the intention may be there, but you do not have time to devote to this. Then, while we were there, it just happened when I was in practice in Michigan. And again, it is just his will that happened. Suddenly, we meet a friend, and it so happens they said, "Well, we have been always wanting to meet the Goyals, and we met in a party, and we wanted to meet them." Turns out they were getting messages from a Hindu guru, and their message by that guru was this: help ever, hurt never. And this is in India. And then this lady was giving us messages. At one time, she was having some religious function. So we said, "Oh, I'm too busy." So we said, "No, tomorrow I've got my surgery. I cannot go." And suddenly she gives us a call. He said, "Ravi, Rashmi, I've got a message for you." What is the message? The Baba, he has said he loves Ravi and Rashmi. We have decided not to go to her place. So we said, "Okay, we are coming." So we were getting messages. That is how we got connected to this guru. And sure enough, we were so happy because his message is so simple. When we went to him, there were Christians, Hindus, Muslims, all sorts of people were there. So that is how this became more profound in our thinking. And since then, and then we had the time after retirement, but even when I was working, I was getting opportunities from one or the other. I was going to India, and then the rep, he comes, he says, "Well, Dr. Good, where are you going?" I said, "So and so." He said, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I'll just go. I'll help the residents of surgery, I'll teach them." He said, "Look, I have some instruments, implants. Why don't you take them and they will be of use?" That is how my instrument service started. And every year I was taking $200,000 worth of equipment to be given to be used as those patients.
Wow. I am just in awe by all of these.
We are not how this my
Just a
service has
second.
evolved.
I lost you for a second. Just wait a second.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have you back again. You froze for a second. So if you can just backtrack, I think we got the equipment to India, and you can continue from there.
And then then I took the equipment, and do you know, $200,000 worth of equipment I was taking to India every year. And that was being used by that hospital. That hospital does not charge a penny from any patient. So I was doing that, and then while I was there, the nursing supervisor said, "Well, Dr. Goel, you're a neurosurgeon. Why don't you teach the ICU nurses?" So I said, "Sure." So I started the workshop. So everything happens, and he does it. We think we are doers. I didn't do anything. Everything just happened, and I got directed into the direction. And then there's a course nursing students called it. The principal came, and she said, "Well, Dr. Goel, why don't you teach the nursing students?" So now it is a curriculum. So I was going every year doing that. But now, since I retired, it's become too much to go to India every year. So now they say, "Okay, we'll do it on Zoom." And do you know, there's a nurse in Johns Hopkins. She's the coordinator. Out of the blue, she contacted me. "Dr. Goel, you've been doing this. Can I come? Can I join you and arrange all this?" I said, "Sure." So that means she does all the legwork. She does all the uh, in all the booking, timing, etc. And she said, "Well, Dr. Goel, tomorrow you get up at 5 o'clock. You give a talk at 6." I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So,
and you're still doing it, and you're still going strong, doing this 2-3 times a year, right?
yes. I've
That's
done two.
amazing.
I've done 2 workshops already this year. Maybe I might do one more. So, and do you know, I'm so excited when this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's sleeping in the bedroom. She says, when you are giving the talk, you are so excited. I said, "Yes, I am." So that is his. I think that is just his direction. Yeah.
And people listening to this, what I take away mostly when I hear Dr. Ravi speak about these, and I've heard so many stories, these synchronistic, highly aligned stories where him and his wife has just said yes to opportunities that a lot of times don't make sense. But they're inspired by true alignment, this inner voice. We're talking about how to know, recognize, and trust the voice of your true self. In that true self, I'm not talking about just something that exists inside of us. This is our true connection to universe, God, gurus, masters, whatever we want to call it, because that's where the divine knowledge comes from. I believe that there's infinite amounts of knowledge and downloads and wisdom that just comes through us when we are open, when we listen, when we trust, and especially if we say yes before ego sets in and starts talking us out of it, anxiety, worry, overthinking. And you guys have really been examples of just jumping into one kind of crazy scenario after the next, not knowing where money come next or what was going to happen next or how the kids were going to be taken care of. And here is just the next opportunity and next opportunity. And it just comes. And I truly believe that that's through that in alignment and that trust that you're talking about that now have strengthened so much with your, dedication to your spiritual teachings and also the work for humanity, for the community that you do, right?
You could not have said it. I could not have said it any better. You just summarized it so beautifully, Trina. That's very true. Yeah.
How did you first become aware of this inner guidance? I call it the voice of your true self, or the voice of God. When did you first have kind of a recollection of that true voice?
really speaking, it is difficult for me to pinpoint one, but always, whenever I have been serving and doing neurosurgery, whether it is, you call it honesty, you call it ego, you call it whatever, but whenever I'm seeing a patient, my entire emphasis is how can I help this patient and not think of money,
Mm.
because in USA, as you well know, surgeons and physicians are paid for the services. You see, so therefore, there's always a tendency to overtreat because they are paid for it, and sometimes when they are hard of money, well, sometimes that might take over. But somehow or the other, I never ever had that that thought in my mind
Mm.
that, hey, if I do this, I'll get 10,000. If I minimize the procedure, I'll get only 1,000.
Mm.
So somehow or the other, once again, as you have said, once you are aligned to the universe,
Mm.
it is He who gives you the direction.
Mm.
We think, oh no, we are very honest. We do. No, I don't believe that. It all happens. It it just happens.
Mm.
There's no such there's no such timing. But having said that, yes, our connection with this lady in Michigan, and my connection with the spiritual group further further strengthened my belief, and my I then started extending more of myself. And now I welcome the opportunity. If somebody asks me about this, I jump into it. I'll go out of my way. I say, okay, I'll call you. I feel so excited. And one of my friends, he said, and I'll quote him, he said, if you he was a little rough. He said, listen, if you ask Ravi about a medical question, he will bug you until that, that has been sorted out.
I love it. And I've been the receiver of that as well. But it comes from such a pure place and with so much love and care that it just doesn't feel intrusive at all. It just feels so caring and so loving because you can just see your passion for helping.
Yes.
So that's going to lead me to kind of back to my first question a little bit of how you stay grounded and connected in all of this, because people listening to this can already kind of relate to maybe the fact of helping others and seeing other people's needs and having a deep passion for helping other people. That can also lead to exhaustion and leaving out your own needs and neglecting your own relationships or your own health. So how have you been able to kind of nurture yourself throughout that, keeping a balance between helping the world and being there for yourself?
See, now, this all comes, it all happens. You don't have to make an effort. If you have that passion, you have that that effort, it all happens.
Mm.
And I assure you, and I assure all this listeners, whoever it is, if you have the passion to help and you are willing to help and you love to help, it is the nature who would provide everything else. Nothing else you would need to do.
Yeah.
That I really believe in that.
Yeah.
You don't need to do anything. It will happen.
So that reminds me of the work that I'm doing right now, where I help people upgrade from the old version of themselves to this newness they're stepping into. They've done the work, they have read the books, they have done the therapy, and yet they're still feeling this gap between the old life or the old version of themselves and the newness. You're really talking about this stepping into the trust of, well, this is what is now.
Mhm.
And if I hang on to the old, or worrying about leaving the old, or worrying about if the new really can sustain me, or keep me, or maintain my health or my sanity, or whatever it might be,
Yes.
then we wobble, and it's really hard to integrate and trusting the newness. So there's this innate way for you to just kind of like let that go and fully adapt into the newness. And I'm really fascinated about that.
I have a formula for that. I have a formula.
Yes.
And this formula has been given to me by my spiritual guru. And he said, he said, just test it out. Just test it out. You don't have to completely jump into this phase or this thinking, whatever you call it. Test it out. And I'll give you one example. So he says, I'm driving, and there's a lot of rush on the in the parking, and I said, hey, I have to do this work. I need a park close by. Sure enough, I get a park. I get parked right next to where I want to go. I quickly do my work. I've done my job. So that is the way I would tell the listeners to do. You don't have to jump in. Just test it out. If you think this works for you, don't do it for the purpose of ego. Don't do it for the purpose of showing off. Don't do it for that I'm being proud I did something great. No, just do it out of the love of your heart. Just do it because you would like to do it. You see? And that is what it is. And if you do it with the honest conviction that I'm doing it because I think I'm helping a human being, then so much so, the good Lord will come and stand in front of you. He said, what can I do for you? I believe it. If you do it with that conviction, that conviction may not come tomorrow. It doesn't grow. But it gradually, you see, we have a mind, we analyze, we have a heart that is love. But that mind is, in many ways, is good, in many ways, it's destructive. It analyzes, hey, no, this doesn't make sense. It may not. So therefore, in order to convince here, this comes from here, to convince this, try it out. Yeah. And
I
see,
love that.
and see if it
Yes.
happens or not.
Test it out. I
Test it.
love that, because it almost gives kind of a back door into the mind of saying,
Yes.
well, it's just a test, right?
Yes.
We're just testing it.
Yes.
And as soon as you kind of dip your toes into the water, it's really not that bad.
Yes.
And then we kind of create that momentum.
Yes.
And then we create the confidence, because now we're realizing that we can do it. And it's kind of tricking that overanalyzing, anxious mind at times of just saying, test it out.
Yes.
And all those scenarios that you've been in where you've just said, yes, the yes hat that you have been carrying for so many years have really been a testament of being led into these incredible opportunities of people and gifts and scenarios that have lined things up for you in life.
Yeah.
Where I'm sometimes in awe and be like, well, how that just can't be real, right?
Yeah.
It's almost unbelievable.
Yeah.
However, it all starts with, let's test it out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. No,
And the other thing, Trina, is that once you are doing a good service, test out yourself. Do you feel really happy? Do you feel excited? If you do, you have tested it out. You have tested out two ways. You have tested out whether it works. Then you have tested out whether it works for you.
I love that.
And you will see it.
Yeah.
once you've done a real good service, and
Mhm.
even if you're getting down and there is a lady who's not able to get onto the bus, you just hold her hand and help her take the bus. What a simple thing. Or you just smile at a person. Or if you cannot, if a person, an elderly person is coming, he's difficult to open the door, you open the door. Nothing else.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. And you would see, check the reaction in yourself.
Mm.
If you find that it gives you a lot of happiness,
Yeah.
you would start doing more and more.
Mm.
Because you
Yeah.
see,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really reflecting on it on my personal life right now, because before I started doing podcasting and doing these interviews,
yes,
I was always very fascinated by other people doing it. And I was definitely drawn to the space. But part of me really didn't believe that that was for me, because I can't do that. Like, why would I be doing podcasting?
yes,
Until I tested it out, because I'm
yes,
like, well, if I like it and I'm
yes.
drawn to it, then obviously it must be for me.
There
So
it is.
why not test it out?
Exactly.
And as soon as I tested it out, I felt high as a kite after each interview. I
You bet.
love the connection.
You bet.
I love being here. And the
Yes.
more I do it, and sitting here with you right now, it's just, this is my calling. This is my purpose. One of my callings and purpose of teaching and
Yeah.
bringing my message out and using my voice to help other people.
Yes.
And this is really what you're talking about, which is
Yes.
just really amazing.
I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying. I'm so excited. I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying what you're saying. I really enjoy.
So, Dr. Ravi, what has been the most difficult challenge in your life that made it hard to stay connected to your true self or your faith? And how did you find your way back from there?
Well, life keeps on throwing challenges.
Yeah.
You get, and that is mainly. And as we advance in age, more challenges keep coming. In the younger, when we were young, the challenges were about children, about their education, how they're going. The good Lord has been so kind to us. Both my sons never ever went out of the normal road. They are both physicians. I am so grateful to God. They're caring. Both of them are so caring. They're honest kids, and I'm so happy with that. So that was the challenges in the early life. As we advance, the challenges come about diseases and longevity and all. Those challenges definitely take over. But that is where we have we have to concentrate on trying to remain centered. It is not always easy, and I'm sure the listeners would think the same. It's not easy for everyone, but that is part of life. That is life. We have to, when my guru says that coin has two sides, the heads and tails, you will not enjoy the good life until you've gone through the bad one. So that is part of it. Now, in our um, culture, we believe in karma. That means if you've done something in a karma, you are fulfilling. You are fulfilling the debts of the karma. And if you are centered in health, you have some support, and you will get support. But if you don't, then you will be totally without support, and you will not have anything to lean back on.
Hmm.
And if you believe in help ever, hurt never, then you have something to lean back on. So the challenges have been all along. They will be.
Mm.
No one can say they'll not be in challenges. We will go up and down for sure.
Yeah. And it really reminds me of the conversations that I have with so many people here in You Inside You, but also with my clients and you and the family, is that two realities always exist at the same time. You're talking about the coin, and all I think about is, yes, you can look at it as challenging on one side, right? And on the
Yes.
other side, there's opportunity.
Yes.
And which side are you focused on? It doesn't mean that one side is better than the other, right? Because it all exists at the same time. However, how long time we spend on focusing on the struggle may create more struggle, because that's where our focus and our energy flows.
Yes.
The more we can also remind ourselves of opportunity, that
Yes.
anything that we go through is a reflection of the expansion that we've come here to Earth
Yes.
to do. We
Yes.
have the challenging and struggles, and because we're spending our wisdom, our energy
Yes.
to get out of our own way more.
Yes.
And if we see every season and every phase that we go through as temporary, right? Thank goodness it's just temporary. But there's learning and there's opportunity in this season. We will feel more encouraged and almost a bit excited. Like, I kind of get a bit excited now when I face some challenges in life, because I'm like, ooh, this is a season where I will expand and grow to stuff that I don't even know about yet. But I know in 5 years, I'm going to look back at it and be like, wow, remember when this happened?
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
And transfer that in another way of explaining is, when you are going through challenges, remember, we are fulfilling our karmic debt. And don't you think that if we have come in this life with 100 karmic debts, and if by happily, not complaining, by happily fulfilling that karmic debt, we are getting rid of 10, we are left with only 90. You see? So therefore we are reducing our karmic debt, and we are putting it away. So that's a very good thing. We are getting rid of the karmic debt.
Yeah, so that's kind of that freedom and maybe the lightness and peace that people start feeling when they go through a lot of transition and they work on themselves and they trust the process more. You know, a lot of my clients, they kind of get to the other side of themselves in a way, saying, well, I feel more peace, I feel more free, I feel more like myself. It's really remembering who we are. It's not really we feel more like ourselves, because we come to the world very clear on who we are, and then we get a bit contaminated and misled and misguided in the world with all this pressure of who we ought to be and who we should be and how things could be, and it's very confusing. So I'm loving this conversation. I just love being here with you. And you spent so much of your life teaching.
Yeah.
From, medical students to seniors, peers in your community. What's the most important lesson that you hope that your students and peers take from your example?
The most important thing that they say is, when I teach, I said, the first thing I tell them, that you think I'm helping you. Truly speaking, the fact that you have allowed me to talk to you, you are helping me. That's the truth. I really believe it. It is the good Lord who has given me the opportunity to serve, to teach someone, to give my knowledge and partake to them. They think that, oh, I'm helping them. No, they are helping me, because the good Lord has given me that opportunity to do that. That is the biggest thing that I tell them at every time. And I love it. And this is the truth. It comes from my heart.
That's beautiful. I'm like stumped by that answer. It's so true. I'm really just reflecting and processing it with my own life. There is such a gratitude
Yes.
in in teaching others, every time I'm with my clients and I'm
Yes.
able to really connect with who they are, is such an honor. And it
Yes.
gives me so much. It makes me a better person. It makes me want to be more. It makes me a better teacher.
Well said.
Mm,
Well said.
mm,
This is 100% true.
mm.
And it makes you feel so happy and high that you've helped somebody.
I love
Beautiful. Beautiful. Very well.
What were you not told about success? And how was your understanding of success? How has it evolved through your personal and spiritual journey?
Interesting you asked that. When I did my medicine, then I did my master's, and I always had in my mind I should do FRCS. It's a very high degree in England, London. So, and I did FRCS from two places, London, Edinburgh. Okay, never mind. And it so happened, I happened to look, I was looking through my album. When I was in high school, would you believe at that time, in underneath, I've written my name, I've written MS, FRCS, Neurosurgeon. Can you imagine? And when I was high school, I had written that down, and it came to be true. I just it that means once again, this shows that it is the connection with the universe or good Lord or whatever. That's what happens.
Mm,
When you're connected, you're connected. That's
wow.
that's what happens. There's nothing else. Then
So I'm also almost taking from this, write stuff down that comes to you, even if it seems really far-fetched or
stupid.
unattainable. I mean, this is what we really have not been taught about success, is that it's not about what's possible here and now. It's not about
Yes,
what's present right now.
yes,
Anything is possible.
yes,
And if we get out of our own way and just put it out there and
yes,
write it on paper and not create so much resistance about it of I can't do it and how is it going to be possible? Is it really thing? But we just we tuck it away, right? And we
yes,
bring back that paper and
yes.
it's all written down and it's there.
You explained it beautifully.
True
You explained it beautiful.
manifestation.
Beautiful. I love it.
Mm.
The way you explained that. Yes, that must have been true.
Mm.
And we can, yeah, you're right.
So let me ask you this. How do we teach our children or the next generation how to know, recognize, and trust our true selves, especially in a fast, achievement-driven world?
Don't teach them anything. Let them see. Trina, if you tell them this is right, they will say it is wrong. If you say it is black, it is wrong. Because that is human nature to question. They learn from seeing, from watching the parents. If the parents are, in fact, would you believe my Rashmi's friend, nurse, she said, Rashmi, now this is what she said when we were in England. Rashmi, your children have never seen argument between you and Ravi. they will be devastated if they see an argument. So I'm telling you, you must expose them to something. What an interesting way of looking at it. She said, I'm telling you, you've kept them so protected. But that is one way of doing it. The other way is let them see, and I do not know what is the right way. I do not know. At that time, when children are young, you're growing up, you're taking care of them many things, you do the way you think best at that time. It may not be the right thing. Maybe that was not the right thing, I do not know. But I remember. I remember the name Maxie. Maxie was the name of that nurse, and she told Rashmi, we were in England. Can you can you imagine?
I love that. Yeah. And I could really take take that conversation in a completely different direction. And especially my therapist hat really goes into, yeah, there are certain ways that we, how we parent and how it influences the children.
Yes.
However, what I take from your message and what I
Yes.
think is the most important here is we don't teach them anything.
Yes.
We let them see. We let them figure things out themselves. We allow them and support them in trusting their inner curiosity,
Yes.
their inner guidance,
Yes.
their inner truth,
Yes.
not us imposing
Yes.
our truth and opinion and right or wrong on them. Is that what I kind of heard you say?
Absolutely. 100% right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when you look back at your journey, what do you feel most grateful for? And what message would you want to leave for future generations about living a life of meaning and service?
In my journey, everywhere where we went, we always had a godfather. We always have divine intervention. We always have a divine person, I call him divine, who guided us all the way through. As we go through life, we do not know much. We keep on learning. But in our case, we have moved so many places, so many different scenarios, such difficult situations we have dealt with. And I do not know how we were able to achieve it. Once we look back, many times we sit down and look back, how did this happen? How did that happen? How did that happen? It just kept on happening. But the only thing we know that we were honest to ourselves, we were honest to our community, we were honest to our patients. That's all. So therefore, if you are true to yourself, true to your community, true to human beings, help will always arrive. Our spiritual guru has once said, if you are true and honest and ask my name, I will stand in front of you right away. He has gone to that extent. So I believe in that. So he will not come himself. He will send somebody who's there to take care of you. And without our knowing, but we always did our thing on with honesty, with truth, with sincerity. And that is the only thing one needs to do in human life.
And you have a specific scenario, a situation where you called his name and he showed up to help you in a kind of a hairy eye surgery recently. I don't know if you mind sharing a little bit about how help kind of came in for you. And I know you have many of those stories, but that one really came to mind. Do you mind sharing a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, I had gone through a cataract surgery. The surgeon was outstanding, and he's doing the surgery. And there was bleeding, and he told us after the surgery, he said it was bleeding, and I said I cannot proceed. And suddenly he heard the name Sai, Sai. That is the name of my guru. And he said the moment that sound came, the bleeding stopped. And he said, so once he comes out of the surgery, talking to us, he said, Dr. Ravi and Rashmi, this is what happened. And he said, I was totally lost. I knew I will either lose the eye or I'll come back again. And I do not know who this Sai is. I do not know who spoke. And I was under anesthesia for sure. I didn't speak. I was under anesthesia. And then he says, out of the blue, he said, Dr. Ravi, who are you? Who are you? And he almost bent down to touch my feet. He said, who are you? The surgeon was so flabbergasted. He said, I've never had this experience, and he said, my assistant, they said, well, who's sighing? Who's saying sign? Nobody knew where that noise came.
And the bleeding stopped.
And the bleeding right away stopped. He said he proceeded the surgery and went through.
So how do you make sense of that?
Well, it is nothing unusual.
Mm,
The good Lord, the good Lord is in you.
yeah.
The good Lord is in you. He's there to help you always. He's not out there. He's with you. And he is watching everything and he's always there to help. You have to be true to yourself. You have to be honest. You have to be sincere.
Mhm.
The rest is going to happen.
Mm.
You don't have to do anything. You
It's
have to
just
be.
it's such a credible
Yes.
experience in what some people call miracles.
Yes. Yes.
And what are miracles really? Well, how would you describe a miracle? What is miracles to you?
Well, according to where I come from, they say these are not miracles. These are not miracles. This is Swami or your guru manifesting himself to show. And that he says is my visiting cards. These are my visiting cards to you, to come, to believe in yourself. You are, and do you know, in Christianity, this may be a statement which would nobody will agree to. He says, remember, I am God, I am no different from God. That's what he says. He said, everyone you should say, I am God, I am no different from God. I mean, this can be, that is what he said. This is what a profound statement, but that's what it says. God is
We're
there.
all connected.
We're all connected.
We are all God energy.
Yes.
We're all the same. We're
Yes.
all energy. And the
Yes.
more we acknowledge that
Yes.
and spend time in that amazing aligned energy,
Yes.
the more resources
Yes.
will show up. Ask and it's given,
That's
as the Higgs says. It just is beautiful. This is what we call manifestation. Some people call it, miracles. I totally believe that it is divine intervention
yes.
at its best
Yes.
when help is really needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you could go back to a younger version of yourself,
Yeah.
what would you want him to know about life?
At that time, Trina, when we were young, or when I was young, there was only one thing in our mind: study, educate, study, educate. Nothing else mattered. But I never felt that I can cheat or I can deceive anyone else. And I still remember I was in St. Joseph Academy. It was an Irish missionary school. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bragging about myself. I I did my high school at age 12 because I did 3 double promotions. And when I was in third standard, my principal was O'Brien, Irish Missionary School. He called my dad. He said, listen, your son is in this class, and the next class is fourth. The next class, boys, they are all lazy. They need some competition. We would like him to move up to next class halfway through this class to the session, so that they get competition. So my dad says, sure. This is how I was able to move 3 double promotions, and I reached at high school. And when there was a one kid I was competing with him. He used to come second. I used to come first in my class, and I'm doing the exam, and we used to have desks. So what he did was he had put a book under the desk, and he was copying from there, and I'm sitting behind. I didn't like it. That is the only bad thing I did. So I raised my hand. So the invigilator came. I said, look at him. So he saw he was caught. He was caught cheating.
So, but I didn't do any. I did my thing. I didn't bother what they are doing, and I did well in my school and then college. But that's a different thing. But I remember that incident. No,
I am so grateful to have had this conversation with you today. Any parting words, anything that you have in your heart, any words of wisdom that you want to give before we end for today?
only one, and that is help ever, hurt never. That's all.
Mm.
And if things will happen, just remember, when you're helping human beings, you're really praying, you're helping the God. That's basically it. And God is with you all the time.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Oh my goodness. I am so full of gratitude to you and your family. You know, I came into your life was reflecting today on it 7 years ago. Started dating your son and he impromptu just brought me by your house and we just stepped right into your family, and now we're married and we have a daughter together, and it's really been in such an incredible experience to have stepped into your very deeply spiritual family and your wisdom and who you are, your heart and your caring, both for you and mom. You guys are just such a gift in my life, and you're such a gift to this podcast today. And I really appreciate you sharing of yourself and your wisdom and people getting to know who you are. And thank you for all the messages. It's just such an honor.
And I have to say a concluding word for sure. The moment you stepped in, we just connected with you, Trina. I and my wife. We just opened our arms and we have never looked back. It has been such a wonderful experience that you are part of our family. We are so thankful that you came to our life, and we honor your presence in our family.
Thank you so much. I
You.
love you. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me for this deeply meaningful conversation with Dr. Ravi today. A man whose life reminds us that wisdom and compassion are the true measures of success. What I love most about this conversation is how seamlessly Dr. Ravi blends science and spirit. How decades of practicing medicine have only strengthened his faith in humanity, in kindness, and in the power of service. His words, service to humans is service to God, echo far beyond medicine. They invite each of us to look at how we show up for one another and how we live our purpose with humility and love. If this episode touched you, I encourage that you take one small action of kindness today, because as Dr. Ravi so beautiful lives, even the smallest act done with love can ripple farther than we can imagine. So thank you for listening to the You Inside You. Until next time, stay connected to your heart, honor your truth, and let your life be an offering of love.